everyone, today I'm here with the MJX X600 and the Hoverdrone EVO, also I think it's called the H806, and my plan for today is to compare these two hexacopters. These are both hexacopters. They are both a little bit different, okay? They're made out of different materials. Their flying characteristics are slightly different, so it's worth putting them head to head and comparing them. Okay, so beginning with the size, the Hoverdrone is a little bit bigger, but it is not any heavier really, maybe a tiny bit heavier. The MJX material is a little bit more fragile. The material in the MJX is a little bit more fragile. The Hoverdrone can take a hit better. The propellers are about the same. They're both made out of the same type of plastic, but the body itself on the MJX can break easier. The legs are they're thinner, and they are more likely to break on a collision, where on the Hoverdrone it's got a little bit of a more robust body. It's made out of plastic, where the MJX is made out of some type of composite material. So that's one thing. Durability wise, I would say that the Hoverdrone is better. Now, they are both good quality. I like quality wise, I think the MJX is a little bit better quality, is a little bit better made. It's got more detail on the frame. It's got the eyes. You can see that a little bit more work was put into this one. Definitely, you can tell that by the remote, by the transmitter. It's really nice, cool transmitter. Where this one is nice, but not as much detail was put into making this one. This is just a pretty plain frame, and the remote is just a very standard. It's this standard remote that you see in many other quadcopters and hexas. So that's for quality. I would say the MJX takes that. Okay, let's get to battery. The battery on the MJX is a 7.4 700 milliamp hour battery. So good flyer. Both hexas here can carry cameras, small cameras, and mine don't have cameras, so I don't know how that would do, but so the battery here on the MJX 700 milliamp hour, and then the battery on the Hoverdrone, it looks like two of the smaller batteries put together, and this one here, it says 7.4 600 milliamp hour battery, so it's a little bit smaller battery. So just by the size of the battery, and I would think that the Hoverdrone gets a little bit less flying time. Now, I haven't noticed a significant difference in flying time from these two, but it might get just a tiny bit more flying time. Alright, let's talk about the instructions here for a minute. Instructions on the MJX are very good. No problems, no complaints. And same thing here with the Hoverdrone. Good instructions. Both of them have headless mode, and it explains. You can figure out how to do it. Let's see here, right here, like on this section here, it talks about headless mode, and so straightforward. Same thing here with these instructions. It's really they're fairly straightforward and detailed. So good instructions for both of them. Battery chargers do differ on both of them. I actually like the battery charger on the MJX better. It's just a flat plain cable that you plug into the battery, and then plug it into your wall adapter for USB or into your computer. And then this other one here has more pieces. For the Hoverdrone, it has this big little box here, and you plug that into the box. You plug that into the wall. It doesn't have the I guess standardized computer USB port that most of them have now. It just has this, and then you plug the battery into here. That can be a little tedious. I don't know if I like this that much, but not a deal breaker for sure. They both come with some extra propellers. This comes with a full set of spare propellers. The MJX 600, the same thing, 6 propellers. They both come with guards, with propeller guards that you can use. And so that's it in a nutshell. Now, the important stuff when it gets to flying, and that's what I really want to see today, is which one is the better flyer. They both have fairly slow yaw rates, so I know the yaw rate's not going to be anything crazy, but I want to see which one has a higher pitch rate and which one's more responsive. So that's what I want to see today. So let's take him out for a flight. I also want to point out that like I said earlier, this one has a little bit more detail. It has a little power button here on the top. I already inserted the batteries on each one, and this one has a power button here on the back. So you can set them both up and switch them on. I'm gonna begin by flying the MJX X600 and seeing how that one does first, and then we'll go to the Hoverdrone and seeing how it does. Okay, so turn it on here. Starts blinking. I'm gonna turn the transmitter on. The second rate is pretty much the same as the third rate, except the third rate does flips, does auto flips. So I'm just gonna fly it on the second rate. All right, so let's give the MJX here a try. Okay, so MJX has good, nice pitch angle. It can be quick. Now there's a lot of wind today, so they're probably not gonna be as quick. You can be pretty maneuverable with it. It's a nice hexacopter. Okay, now flip wise, you can only do forward flips, so there's a big difference between this one and the Hoverdrone. This one only does forward flips. They can be a little slow sometimes. No, it only does. Let me see if it does back. I think I've tried it before. Yeah, so only forward. Yeah, just forward. So that is one big difference with this one, is it only does forward flips. Now you can see right there, that's fully pitched forward. So the pitch angle, that's on mode 2, so I mean on rate 2. So that's as fast as it gets right there. And it can be pretty quick once it gets speed, but right off the bat it's not super fast. Now it's a nice flyer, but that is it. So that's the MJX, the X600. Like I said before, on rate 3 it does auto flips, so that's kind of cool. So that's kind of it, So the pitch angle on this was about that much. You can get fast, but right off the bat it's not a super fast quadcopter. It doesn't have a really fast yaw either. Hexacopter, it doesn't have a really fast yaw either. So now let's give the Hoverdrone a try. And I'm going to turn on the Hexa. Lights are blinking. Now, I will say one thing that I like about this Hoverdrone that the MJX doesn't have is the Hoverdrone has those two the orange propellers on the front, and it makes it a little bit easier to keep orientation, especially for somebody new when you're still not used to using direction for orientation, but you're just using the front. And on a hexacopter, all the sides look the same if the propellers are the same color, so that helps. That's a nice feature that it has. Alright, so now I'm going to bind it, and this one has I think it's also 3 speeds, so let's 3 different pitch angles. The yaw, I think it's pretty much the same yaw for all 3, so let's give it a try. Alright, so the Hoverdrone, this is just on the first rate, and I can already tell that it's pitching almost as much as the MJX was. So I'm going to go to the second rate. So that right there is on the second rate. So yaw rate wise, the yaw rate is not that much different than the MJX. Even though I think the yaw rate is a tiny bit, well, no, I think it's about the same. I was gonna say it's faster, but it's not really. Alright, so now let's go to the third rate. So that's the third rate on the Hoverdrone, and you know what? Hoverdrone has a crazy pitch angle. You can pitch this one forward angle wise, this has a much steeper pitch angle, so you can get quicker with this faster. Now let's see about the flips. Let's see about flips. Okay, flip forward on there, flip sideways. So this one does flip sideways, and flip the other side, and now let's flip back. Okay, so I flip pretty much in every direction with no problems. They both have headless mode, but out of the two, they are both very nice flying hexacopters. But I would have to say that it just, you know, it depends what you're looking for. If you are looking for something that has a little bit more speed, a little bit more pitch on the higher rate, you should probably go with the Hoverdrone. It's also a little bit more resistant to crashing. If you want something that you can go fast and you can, it looks nicer. I think that the body on this one, on the MJX, looks nicer. It's a nicer looking, kind of sporty looking body, where the Hoverdrone doesn't have. It's just kind of big, you know, bulky looking body. But I would have to say that the flying characteristics are actually a little bit better on the Hoverdrone, because it has a steeper pitch angle. It has 3 different rates on the pitch, where the MJX X600 only has 2 rates, truly, even though you can switch it 3 times. The third rate is pretty much the same, except it does auto flips. I'm not a big fan of auto flipping. I also want to point something out here on the Hoverdrone. The Hoverdrone also does auto flipping, so that is another nice feature that you have the option to do. Matt here is going to demonstrate how that works. So it does auto flips, so you can set it to auto flip, so it'll do more than one flip. So that's another cool feature this one has, similar to the auto flipping on the MJX. So that is my comparison video here of the Hoverdrone and H806 and the MJX X600. I would have to say that in most categories the Hoverdrone wins. They are both nice hexas, really cool. But if I had to pick one, I would probably go with the Hoverdrone. Alright guys, let me know what you think. Make sure you comment, tell me about your experiences, and thank you guys for watching this, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.